Welcome back, Camden Catholic. So, we excuse me. We started talking in class on Thursday about the Roman model for conquest, right? We started talking and discussing the facts of divide, explore, conquer, right? Because Romans never actually intended to grow as large as they did. And a lot of that is actually seen in the ideas of the Punic Wars, right? So the Punic Wars are going to break out between Rome and a very well-established ancient empire in northern Africa by the name of Carthage, right? So by 272 BC, all of the peninsula of Italy is under the Roman control, right? And a rivalry, a very, very large rivalry, is going to develop between Rome and Carthage. Now, Carthage is a city-state in northern Africa founded by the Phoenicians, okay? Now, all of this is going to break out over who is actually going to control sea trade in the western Mediterranean area. And it all actually broke out over that little tiny island. Write this down. It all broke out over that little tiny island known as Sicily, all right? So, this right here, just so you can see, that is actually a picture of what Carthage looked like. It was absolutely gorgeous. Rivaled a lot of the things of Rome. One of the interesting ideas about this is had Romans lost these wars, who knows who we'd be talking about right now? Who knows how European Northern Africa might be, right? But it was a gorgeous seafaring area, and as you can see right here with the docking systems and things like that, trade was a massive part of their economy and of their culture. So, and then right here, you have Rome, that's how large they have gotten, against Carthage, which is who they're going to be going after, right? Now, excuse me. So, the first battles actually started over the small island of Sicily. Now, the first war, Rome is going to build a very large naval fleet and is going to take over the Isle of Sicily and strip it away from Carthage, right? So, Rome is actually going to win its first outing against the Carthaginians, right? Well, the guy that led the early Carthaginians was a man by the name of Hamilcar, right? Not Hamilcar, it's supposed to be, the L and the I are supposed to be switched, right? Hamilcar, and his son's name was Hannibal, right? So Hamilcar, after he leads the Carthaginian forces, he loses Sicily. He starts to actually create a giant resentment towards the Romans, okay? And he actually forces his son Hannibal to swear on a sacrificed lamb that he will hate Rome for the rest of his existence, right? So after Hamilcar dies later on, Hannibal rises up, his son, to lead the Carthaginians in the Second Punic War, right? So this guy, Hannibal, leads the Carthaginians in the Second Punic War, right? So Rome was actually severely threatened in this second war because they started taking over areas outside of Spain. And actually, this really, really fueled up the Carthaginians because they had trade dealings with one of these cities, and it was known to be a free city and actually away from anyone's control. So, after the Rome kind of pushes the Carthaginians' buttons, Hannibal amasses a huge army, including many war elephants, and is going to march on the city of Rome. And he crosses over the Alps, write that down somewhere, Hannibal crossed the Alps and actually comes down into Italy and begins to ransack Roman property going through the Italian peninsula. However, there was this magnificently genius general of Roman descent known as Scipio Africanus, right? Scipio Africanus realizes, wait a minute, if Hannibal is attacking us with everything he's got, then who's defending Carthage, right? Boom! So Scipio decides to go and invade Carthage, and Hannibal was forced to return to Africa to defend their lands, right? So Carthage is actually going to surrender in 202 BC and end up perishing due to that. So, anyway, sorry, some people were at my window, and I'm flipping! Go away! Hi, Paige. Hi, Izzy. What? It's recording right now. What? Hi, Paige Parks. Hi, Izzy. What? 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 Alright, anyway. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, now, so Isabel Rosario, happy now. All right, anyway, now, so check it out. So, after the Third Punic War in 146 BC, Carthage is going to be completely left in ruins. and many Carthaginians are actually going to be sold into slavery, right? There's a lot of really graphic details about the sacking of Carthage that I'll actually tell you all when we get back into class, because I don't really want to blast out onto the internet all the really screwed up things the Romans did to the Carthaginian people, right? So one of the things that we know very well that they did, though, was like the ruins and the salted lands, right? So the legend goes that after the Romans destroyed the Carthaginians in the Third Punic War, that they dumped salt all over their lands so that they could never actually grow anything ever again, right? So they were feeling a little salty. Thanks for laughing at my joke, Zach. All right, anyway, now, so check it out. Now, Greece and Macedonia and parts of Southwest Asia are also going to come under Roman control during the Punic Wars due to like diplomacy and threats. So one of the cool, like crazy things that actually happened is after Rome takes over Greece and Macedonia after the fall of the Hellenistic Empire, after Alexander died, right? Leave it to the best. Now, because that happened in 250 BC, so this is about 100 years after. The Romans are going to like take a lot of Greek slaves and actually use them as tutors in the wealthy patrician homes to actually teach their children. So, cool little fun fact that I expect some of y'all to know on Monday. Now, the Roman Republic, of course, the way they were going to defend this entire area and the way that they were actually going to set up a way of ruling this gigantic area is they're going to divide it up into provinces, right? So, and a governor is actually going to be appointed to actually rule over each province and report back to the emperor. Really quickly, write this down. This is a showing of Roman bureaucracy, right? This is an early example of Roman bureaucratic systems, okay? So bureaucracy, write that down. Roman bureaucracy, and then circle it like 6 times. Now, anyway, these are the ruins left behind by Rome and Carthage, and the people of these new provinces, after everybody in Rome was going to be taken over, had to pay taxes. A lot of them were taken into slavery. However, also write this down, some were given full citizenship rights under the Roman Empire and allowed to fight in these armies and actually allowed to enjoy the full benefits of being a Roman. So, really, really cool stuff because eventually Rome is going to grow to be this large, right? It's going to get massive, right? So we're going to talk more and more about the growth of their empire, different aspects like that, when we get back to class on Monday. So, I'll talk to you guys then. I really, really enjoyed it. Have a great rest of your weekend, Camden Catholic. See you guys on Monday.